What a lovely area to be in today. First, let me begin by saying thank you. Thank you to Sport St. Martin for this initiative. All the inclusive historical and the exclusive historical representations of St. Martin's first home evokes a feeling of comfort and prestige. It is a nice reconstruction of a historical environment, which I think a straightforward indicator of culture and history as we see here with this area today. While I acknowledge the economic and beautification purposes of this square, I want to go a little deeper into the symbolism, heritage, vision, and meaning of the past that is inscribed into this landscape. There is a cultural importance of place naming in the study of our heritage. Naming is a powerful vehicle for promoting identification with the past and locating oneself within the extensive network of memory. For example, the passing on of surnames from one generation to the next is an important symbol of personal heritage and culture. Just as surnames serve as a roadmap to the past, it guides us through an individual ancestry, an archive of one's traditional group, affiliation, and cultural ties. The official naming of this square today serves the same manner whereby St. Martiners and others can use this as a roadmap to identity with our past, locating themselves within networks of our memories, which will promote heritage and culture. We can learn a lot and adapt a lot from the way Mr. Walter Williams, affectionately known as Plantz, lived his life, especially within the community, whereas he, as a legend fisherman and hunter, shared his experience with the youngsters. And many times he would go beyond and serve persons within the community during the evening hours as they assembled to commune in a way that brought joy, peace, and camaraderie amongst themselves. Mr. Walter Williams, Mr. Plantz, was a selfless man who learned and loved his neighbor as he did himself and lived by this example. As an artist of culture, Mr. Plantz's contribution to society, especially to the Dong Street community, was that of a culture craftsman, whereby he used his natural talents to bring his people together, creating a sincere sense of unity and respect amongst each other. He created a culture amongst the youngsters of this community, Dong Street community. And I'm proud to say that I know this firsthand because of getting the stories from my uncle, Mr. Clinton Gums, known as Magic, as he was one of those fortunate youngsters to be taught the teachings of Mr. Plantz. And I asked him, I said, Uncle, tell me something memorable that you learned from Mr. Plantz. And he said, everything. Everything as a person that I am today, I learned from Mr. Plantz. From building fish pots to building buildings. He passed on his knowledge and various skills of survival crafts so that they would be able to learn something new, and in addition to helping their families and themselves. Those are just some of the cultural heritage that we must become aware of, and in the same fashion, practice it just the same, so that we can evoke that kindred spirit amongst ourselves. Place naming is also essential to nation building and should not be influenced in times of political, ideological change, but remain the same because of its cultural roots. As we proceed to introduce the existence of this square, the Mr. Walter Williams Plantz Square, we are actually creating connections between our past and the present and our future. And I encourage you to devote just a little or a lot of your time in passing down traditions to our young individuals. I need all of us, each and every one of us, to continue to do this as we contribute our presence here today. We are actually helping in the continuation of building St. Martin cultural landscape, something that I am very, very passionate about. This project also falls in line with many of the projects that the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports have planned for the years to come, creating a cultural track so that we too can identify and know our history. It is heritage projects as such that play a key role in our social construction of space and the contested processes of remaining who we are and who they were. These heritage sites will provide our visitors with substantial information which can be studied as symbolic monuments of our people, who we and who they will also serve us as a great influence to public memory. As I entered the square today, I was amazed with what I saw. I was amazed with the emotions that it brought within me. One of the first booths, I believe it's called the DNA line, that alone serves as a great beginning to information of our history, our past, that our visitors and persons in our community can be educated thereon. It is my personal belief that historical sites, monuments, museums, signs, symbols have much power, and they should inscribe messages about the past into the many practices and writings of our everyday lives, making certain that versions of our history appear the natural order of things. I hope that, and I pray, that we will all use the concept of the opening of this square with conviction as we strive to revive the efforts of our ancestors, just as Mr. Plantz did, and that we continue to promote the positive relations amongst our various communities.
Initiatives of this nature is so important to the development of our tourism product, considering its importance to the economy of St. Martin. So on this note, I would like to say a special thanks to the developers, namely the St. Martin Harbour Group of Companies. The St. Martin Harbour Group of Companies have been playing a pivotal role in the tourism industry in the recent years. With their level of investment, strategic planning, promotion of the island, they have been able to grow cruise arrival to this island from 1.3 million arrivals to 2 million in the space of 6 years. This, ladies and gentlemen, represents an increase of 7,000 additional cruise visitors to our beautiful shores. Now you can imagine the trickle-down effect such development have had on our economy. Another important factor, ladies and gentlemen, that I, as Minister of Tourism, Economy, Economic Affairs, Telecommunication, is cognizant of, is that this project will certainly generate a new spirit of life in the downtown area for locals and visitors alike. It is a project that will further stimulate economic development in this unique part of Phillipsburg. I have been briefed that the project will offer visitors tourists, locals alike, cuisine and entertainment on a daily basis, and also contain the reflection of our national cultural heritage of our beautiful island. I must commend on the uniqueness of the name chosen for this project. The name of a local fisherman, Walter Plantz Williams. This gives more to the project in that it tells a story of the people that ply this area. That, my friends, is a true example of an enhancement of our tourism product. Once again, I would like to say thank you to the developers of this great product. Thank you.
Dad was a man of many, many names. Some probably, most of you will know him as Walter Plantz, the fisherman, the barber, or Bobo. He was a kind and loving person. He was loved by all, especially children. He always had sweets in his pocket for when children are just passing or just stop him. He had a good sense of humor and loved his bears, especially Miller Lite, Coast Light, etc. He will always say he is 6 months on vacation twice a year. He lived most of his life down street, not too far from the Standard Jetty. Walter Williams was a fishing legend. He loved the sea, a fisherman to heart. Fishing was his passion. At the tender age of 14, he went to work with his mother, my grandmother, picking salt in the salt pond and taking it on their head to the small pier, now known as the Captain Hodge Pier. The salt was then shipped to the islands. His first job was carrying around telegrams. He had to walk from Phillipsburg to Bellevue to take the telegram to Mr. Fleming. He told me that his first guilder that he earned, he held it so tight in his hand while rushing home to give his mother that she could not hold it because it was so hot. He just wanted to give her his first pay. Plantz was also known as a well-known barber. There was a sign in his barber shop that stated, "Special notice. Credits is given only to those over 80 years of age accompanied by their grandparents." This was handwritten by a certain Mr. L.F. Sadler in September the 11th, 1956. My dad was a well-known man throughout the entire island, both Dutch and French, especially because of his knowledge and experience pertaining to fish pots, fish nets, etc. He was 95 years when he passed on. The Down Street Tender Jetty has been named after our fishing legend, along with placing a bust of him at the beginning of the jetty by the St. Martin Harbor Group of Companies, honoring him as one of the pioneers of St. Martin. My dad was a modest and down-to-earth person, but I am sure he would be proud of this honor. On behalf of all of us and his family, I would like to thank Mr. Mark Mingo, Mr. Alex Gums and his team of the St. Martin Harbor Group of Companies for the opening of this Walter Plantz Square. His own thing. I do hope that the community will take good care of it. I herewith also would like to thank you all for being part of this special occasion.
On behalf of the Down Street Community Council, we'd like to welcome you guys here today at the opening at the Plantz Fair. I'm going to be very short because we have so many other people to speak. Again, I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming here. And again, I would like to say on behalf of the Down Street Association, welcome and enjoy yourself today. Thank you.
This has been a long time, and I'm happy today is the official opening. I'm not going to say too much. I also want to thank the Williams family for being here. I think a lot of what have been said about Walter Plantz, I see a lot of resemblance with my grandfather and my own dad, so you know I can connect to that. But coming back to what the Minister of Culture said, symbols are key. And why are symbols key? In 2010 we started with the jetty, the water jetty behind here, to actually connect the visitors from the port over whole of Phillipsburg, to have them spread over and to learn. But also during the development of Walter Plantz Square, I myself was a bit ashamed in the beginning because I didn't know everyone in Down Street. But I came to find out that actually Down Street is one of the richest areas when it comes to history and when it comes to heritage. And coming back to symbols again, if you look in the back of me, to your, I guess it's to your left, you will see the port, but to your right, you see Fort Amsterdam. And I don't know if it was meant to be, but right in the center, you're seeing the Walter Plantz Square. So basically, this is actually the heartbeat of Phillipsburg. I've also heard about commitment. Looking at all the elements in this project, and I would like to thank the architect, Wouter Schippers, and of course, our contractor, Winner Roads, Jan Hendrik, because they also had to deal with me. When we started the project, it actually was architect to be more of a modern art type of project. But basically, somewhere 2 months during the project, we basically wiped off those plans and actually redesigned the whole project, which of course brought a lot of irritation and headaches. But I want to thank those two gentlemen. And for sure, I want to thank the board of directors with having their patience with me, because this was not an easy project. But coming back to the symbols again, symbols are very important. Minister of Culture mentioned the DNA of the history, and let's be honest, everything is about your DNA. And sometimes I wonder if the saying that the history determines your future, well, today is a confirmation that indeed your history is your future. Again, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the Prime Minister as well, the government of St. Martin, for making sure that we follow through also with our commitments and strategic planning. And you know, it's a whole day of festivities, and I just enjoy it. I think it's up to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock this evening. And just enjoy it because I think all the elements are there for making sure that this will be a success. I haven't also heard, but not to let you down for the family, for Walter Plantz, there is a barber shop, and I added a little spa massage with the barber shop. So closing my speech, I believe, Shadow, there's some, I don't say trophies, some grabs we want to give out. But again, I want to thank everyone, especially the people from Down Street, to have the patience. It was not easy, but I think we all got together. And I think the crowd here today tells you enough already. And it basically means what I saw last night. If there's a family who doesn't have much income, or the tourist who has some more income, this is a project for everyone. So enjoy it, and thank you again, everyone.